Thank you, Felix, for the invitation. It's always a great pleasure to be in Japan. I haven't been as much as I wanted in the past years, but in my former life, I was a lot here. Also, when you were first time in Japan, I think this is where we met. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador, for the words and for the excellent exchange that we have. So, since I'm the first one from Switzerland to speak, I just want, before coming to the topic of today, energy, I just want to say a few words about ETH. We are established since 1855, and we were established by the newly constituted Swiss, after a short civil war, Swiss constitution as a national university, which is a little bit special. And the mission was very simple, just to help society to modernize Switzerland, to build trains, uh, tunnels through the Alps, railways, electrify the country, and so on. And this mission has remained up to today. We are here, and I think this is the reason of a university, to help society. Today, we have 26,000 students, more than 500 professors, a few Nobel laureates, and the QS ranking is not too bad. Switzerland is organized with 10 local universities, cantonal universities, a number of universities of applied science. You have to help me how many there are. Also about 10, I think, right? Some are present here. Seven throughout Switzerland. And then there is the ETH domain. Those are the national facilities of Switzerland. ETH Lausanne, who is represented by the provost of EPFL. Then four what I call the national labs, like RIKEN in Japan or the DOE labs in US. EMPA is also represented here, PSI, EAVAG, and WSL. And you will hear more about this. ETH alone, we have more than 9,000 international contracts. And I just looked after the numbers for Japan. We have about 100 contracts with Japan, mainly with the University of Tokyo, Kyoto University, but also Osaka University. And I mentioned RIKEN, the accelerator facilities, the particle physics, the fundamental research. So many, many contracts, and it's a growing number. Oh, what I forgot to say is that we have two stations outside of Switzerland. ETH was in Singapore. That was the first one established. Just want to mention, Mr. Ambassador, there are ties between Singapore and Japan. At some point, Felix or yourself, you may want to speak to Sasha Mentz. It's about smart cities program. And I think here there are common endeavor that can be taken. And the new one is we will be in Germany, having a location in Germany, thanks to a great donation. This will hopefully help our complicated relationship with Europe. No more details on that. Now, I said a university has a mission to help society. And the challenges that we are facing are enormous. They are not only huge, they are also very intense and dense. Since my presidency, 7 years I started ago, it's just every year something new. It became a joke when I say next year it will be quiet. It's never quieter, right? Energy, climate, aging society, um, refugees, huge issue in Europe, or cybersecurity, just to name a few. In each of these fields, we have launched at ETH with our partners, very often with EPFL, special targeted initiative in order to act quickly. We cannot wait for 20 years. We have to deliver quickly. So, about the climate change, there are huge challenges ahead. I mean, I'm not talking about what's happening geopolitically. Some leaders of this world don't want to see the issue. I mean, it's not going to disappear because you close your eyes. I'm a mountain guy. I love to go in the mountain. I can tell you we see the effect in the Swiss Alps every time because in the Alps, the warming is twice the world average. And you can see glaciers disappearing, for example. You can see part of the mountain going down. This will be the new normality. We have a special issue, but I understand that in Japan this is the same. If we look at the production of electricity, we produce too much electricity in summer and we import a lot of electricity in winter, which creates a dependency with our neighbors. And we hope we will have a good international agreement with Europe so that we can really have a stable situation. But we need to work on that as well. And there is an opportunity. Every crisis brings some opportunities. Here, how do we address this? So it was mentioned, this is organized together with the Energy Center of ETH. This is Christian Schaffner, who is here. He's leading this effort. Since the creation, I didn't know that, you told me this, he has been creating. He was alone first, now he has a huge task force to support him. Many professors are participating, 55 professors. So 10% of ETH professors are involved in energy. We, of course, educate people. I mean, we can provide the best technology if we don't have the people to run these technologies in the companies later on. It's not going to work. That's a challenge for both Japan and Switzerland. We do system analysis, system oriented. Every type of technologies has to be looked at. The solution will be not one technology alone, it will be a combination of them. And finally, there is an increasing need to have a dialogue with the politics, with the lawmakers, the administrations, both regional and national, and with the public. There is also in Switzerland a growing skepticism towards new technologies. We have to address this. So just because the time is running, I will show one example of an initiative that we started with the EPFL together. And we now partnering with the Paul Scherrer Institute and with the EMPA. This is a new coalition that we have launched called the Coalition for Green Energy and Storage. And that was launched 2 years ago. You can see on this panel all the companies that are supporting these initiatives. And the concept is very simple. It's, of course, more complicated to realize, but in the idea, we want to provide 1 megawatt demonstrators to produce synthetic fuels. Okay. And what's fascinating and what's happening at ETH is that it brings together the climate researchers and the energy researchers, 2 communities that are not always talking to each other. Christian, it's correct what I said. Okay. So, for example, the climate researchers are working more on removing CO2, either at the point source or from atmosphere. Now you can do what you want with CO2. You can put it in the underground, or you can combine with hydrogen. And at some point at least in Europe, the price of electricity is negative at certain time of the day because there is a surplus. So you can even be paid to use this hydrogen. And then, or you produce the hydrogen, and then you have hydrogen, carbon, oxygen. I'm a physicist, so don't ask me too much on chemistry, but as much I know, you can produce methane, methanol, or kerosene, for example. And so you close the loop, and you can use the existing infrastructures. This is a point I think that is really essential if we want to be able to have this climate change happening, these technologies happening. Just to finish, ETH, we are producing a large number of startups. Here you see there are about 30 to 40 startups produced every year. Maybe what is, for me, the most interesting development is the venture capital that is put into these startups. For the years 22 to 24, it's more than 2 billion that has been raised by the startups. So it's not money from public money, it's really the venture capitalists putting, or industry putting money into it. As I mentioned, we have 9,000 contracts worldwide and 300 every year. So I signed about one per day. And of course, I was reading it at the beginning, but due to time, I just trust my people. And with this, I will finish. I'm just 1 minute ahead. You see, ETH is always on time and on budget. That is super important. Thank you for your attention.